What would you take, salesmanship or honesty as a skill?
Well, honesty isn't a skill.
You don't think so?
No.
I think it's a skill.
I don't think it's a skill. I think it's just something you have to do.
I don't think honesty comes naturally. I
disagree.
I think as a kid, you learn the meaning of doing something bad, right? If you're being dishonest, you're taught that's not right. But in my belief, we come out of the womb as basically these like barbarians with no ethics.
I completely disagree.
Really?
Because I think babies, like young babies, are honest to a fault. When they're hungry, they cry. When they're tired, they cry. When they're annoyed, they'll let you know. Like, that's just pure honesty.
I feel like it's the opposite with babies. I mean, you would know better than I.
You haven't hung around many babies.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think babies are like super honest. I mean, even kids up to 3 are like, will say stuff to you that you're like, a well-conditioned adult wouldn't say that, but go off, you know? Like just things like, like one of the kids I teach, she's 5. And last week she goes, Miss Meriel, you forgot to put your makeup on today. And I was like, you're right. I didn't put any on today. And the next week she goes, oh, Miss Meriel, you remembered your makeup today. Like, you know, I had another kid that used to look me in the face like every week very carefully. She was 4 and she would go, you look like you're getting older. Like every week without fail, just straight in my eyes. And I was like, yeah.
What age do they start like tricking you and pretending to cry? And
around like 1.5, 2, I would say they start to learn manipulation. And it's a very, it's actually a very good thing. It's a good milestone of development and growth when they start learning they can manipulate.
Really?
Yeah.
How's that a good milestone?
Because they're learning that their emotions and they're learning that they can influence other people.
Okay.
And that's a really important developmental milestone as a human growing, that you learn that you can have a sway over other people's feelings and emotions and that you can affect someone else.
Whoa.
So lots of parents freak out when their kids are 2 and they start, fake crying or start manipulating. But actually, obviously you have to, control it in a sense and be aware of it. But it's actually a very important developmental milestone for kids.
Did you know that, Marvin? That
makes sense.
Right?
I guess knowing how to influence people is important.
Not even influence. Like babies will, they'll do things like they'll cry to get your attention even though they're not really upset. And that's,
right.
Because when they're little, they'll cry because they just want to be held. When they get to about 2, they'll cry, or they'll say things like, often babies will say to their parents, like, I don't love you. Because they know their parents will be like, oh my goodness, no. When what we really should do is be like, that's okay. I still always love you. They're just saying that to get a rise out of you. You're like, go, sit at the table and eat your food and they go, I don't love you. Because they're hoping you'll be then say like, oh, it's okay. I have candy, And kids will do that. And it's not.
That doesn't sound honest to me.
It's not out of being malicious, but that's a learned skill. That's what I'm saying. They don't do that when they're born. They do that around 2.
So you're saying it's the other way around,
yes.
where you learn to be dishonest.
Yes. And it's actually a very important thing to learn.
Dishonesty?
Manipulation.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And you should hope, obviously you hope as they get older, they realize that like that's not the way to function in society.
Right.
We shouldn't praise them for manipulating, but it is an important social skill and like a stage of development for them to learn it means they're consciously aware of that they can get a rise out of people.
So you've worked with kids, what, 8 years, 10 years?
Let me think, how old am I now?
Right.
Probably, yeah, about 8 years now, yeah.
Okay, so in all your time...
Actually, even younger, but I wouldn't count that I was working with kids when I was younger because I was just babysitting. That wasn't
it's not the same. Not compared to what you do now.
Yeah.
Okay, so in all of all your years working with kids,
yeah,
what is the most surprising thing that you've learned from working with children? Like, is there one thing that just profoundly altered your view of the world in any way?
I think they are a lot smarter than we give them credit for, and they remember more than we think they remember.
Yeah.
One of the kids I look after at the moment, he's 3, and he kept saying anytime we were in the park and like the wind would blow, he'd go, things are going to blow away. Like, he was really scared of things blowing away.
Huh.
Like his sister blowing away, his stroller blowing away, me blowing away.
Whoa.
I would always be like, child, things aren't going to blow away. Like, we're fine. Nothing's going to blow away. And then one day I was talking to his mom and I was like, why does he always freak out that we're going to blow away in the wind?
Right.
And she goes, oh, on his 3rd birthday, they got him one of those big like Mylar balloons.
Yeah.
And they were taking a picture with it and they let go and it blew off. And there was a picture of him going, as the balloon flies away. And it's traumatized this kid. And now he's convinced things are going to blow away.
Wow.
I once, by mistake, broke his toy airplane. We were in the park and we were throwing the toy airplane around.
Yeah.
And it fell out the stroller and it got broken. And that was a big deal for him. And then now, anytime we go to the park, I go, where do you want to go? He goes, not the field with the rock, because that's where the airplane broke.
Whoa.
He remembers that space and he doesn't want to go there. So I've permanently damaged.
Oh my gosh, this is kind of making me sad because it's like
he's got a really good memory. He remembers this stuff.
This is the thing I think would be a difficult new thing to deal with. I'm not a father yet. Definitely want to be one.
Oh, surprise! No, I'm kidding.
This is why we're here, Alexander, actually, to sit you down and
here
reveal.
Are all your past ladies, and they are pregnant.
Yeah, it's just this jacked, angry baby in a beanie. Just this is yours.